Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Pastor Bob with another Daily Bible Reading Insight. Today's day 177. Happy Monday to everybody. We are in the book of Job 7 through 9 and Acts 7, finishing up verses 70 or 35 to the end and beginning just a smidge of Acts chapter 8. In Job, we begin with this. Job 7, 1 NLT. Job says this, "Is not all human life a struggle?" Doesn't it feel like that sometimes? Like it's just a battle. It is a war to get through each day. Is God with us or not? Job answers that in verse 17. This is kind of interesting. Remember, Job is credited with righteousness, means he sees the world through God's eyes. What are people that you should make so much of us that you think of us so often? For you examine us every morning and test us every moment. Does God test us every moment? I think he does. Why? Because he loves us. He wants us to grow into the best versions of ourselves. We don't like to be tested, but maybe if we saw them as tests of our trust and our faithfulness, it would change how we view struggle. It wouldn't seem like such a struggle. Anyways, going back to the book of Acts, our boy Stephen. Yesterday we read that Stephen gives this passionate, detailed, in-depth history of the Israelites. In today's reading, he shifts that historical narrative, if you will, here's what happened, into a critique not only of the past Israelites and their disobedience to God, but then he connects the past Israelites to the current Israelites and says, you're just as bad. Well, you could imagine that this did not go over well with all of the religious leaders, and they are furious, and they begin taunting him. They begin yelling names. At this point, we read that Stephen looks up to the heavens, right? So the Israelites are getting furious. The religious leaders are getting furious. Jesus looks up to the heavens and sees God. He sees the Son of Man standing in the place of honor at God's right hand. It's starting to get exciting. So the religious leaders, they rush him and they stone him. As they are killing him, Stephen says this, "Lord Jesus, receive my spirit, but also don't charge them with this sin." In other translations, it reads, "Please forgive them." To have that love. How do we have that love? Stephen's enemies are literally killing him. He says, God, forgive them. Here's how we do it. One, we determine, are we followers of Jesus or not? Are we disciples of him or not? You're in or you're out, right? None of this half wishy-washy stuff. If I determine that I am a disciple of Jesus, I want to follow his ways, then what he did is what I do. And guess what? Jesus forgave his enemies. Jesus, as he's being nailed to the cross, says, Father, forgive them. They do not know what they do. Here's the thing, friends. If we can forgive our most hated enemy, if we can forgive those who have hurt us and made our lives very difficult, guess what? Guess what's on the other side of that forgiveness? Freedom. Freedom. We are released from the bondage of resentment and anger and hate, and we are free. Hear me. Forgiveness does not mean trust. Forgiveness does not mean access to our lives. Forgiveness does not mean that we have to let people back in, right? But forgiveness means we are letting go of anger, resentment, guilt, all of that stuff, and we become free. Try it today. What a great way to start the Monday with some forgiveness of people who you've held on to resentment for so long. Pastor Bob with another Daily Bible Reading Insight. Glad you're with me. We'll see you tomorrow.